Hello and welcome to PlayStation Racer. On this channel I am documenting my journey playing online racing sims, so mostly Formula 1 2021 and Gran Turismo. Today we're looking at the first race of the first season of Formula 1 2021. Now those of you that have been following the channel will know that I've already done this race. I have done 2 additional races, but the recording of the audio went terrible, so I've scrapped those, hit the reset button, and we're going back and rerunning this first Grand Prix afresh. Now I did go through the settings that I have done on this particular game, and a couple of the changes that I have made since we've been away is to increase the AI by a couple of points, and I've also removed the flashback capability because I want to try and get this as realistic as we can. So this video is going to be the entire weekend. We'll be looking at how the practice went, we'll be looking at how the qualifying went, and then the race. It's going to be a quick qualifying, just a single flying lap, and then we're going to have a 5-lap race. So it's going to be a fairly quick one, just working on the video, just working how it's all going to come together. So I've just been through setting everything up, all of the R&D, setting up the calendar and everything. This is the new car, the colour scheme that I'm going with, which is the 2 blues. Most of the sponsors at the moment are white, just the one duotone sponsor right now, but quite a nice looking car, and I'm looking forward to getting it back out on the track. So we're just finishing up by advancing the time. We've got our weekly resources, and we've got the power and durability focus, and then we're into the first great race, which is at Bahrain, at the Bahrain International Circuit, and we are, as it says on the screen, into practice for the first race of the calendar. Visiting the Aston Martin garage.
Morning boss, Jeff here. Thanks again for bringing me on board. You've found a lot of talented people for this team. I can't wait to see what we can accomplish. Our journey to the Constructors' Championship starts here today, and the car is ready to head out whenever you are.
Okay, so we're not going to go through the whole of the practice session, but what I did is my usual. I picked one of the challenges. This is the one where we're going through the gates to get used to the track, and then I did the other 2 as quick practice. Managed to get 3 greens for a clean lap and chain of 5 corners in the clean sector, so that was all good, but we did miss out on the points, so we didn't actually manage to get all 5 components, which is a bit of a shame. Slightly short, but that gives us something to work on for the future. So there we go, 4 of the challenges done and 1 was missing. And then the race strategy and the ARS management, I did those using the quick practice option. I'll do a video on the quick practice option very soon. So as far as the resource points are concerned, we've got 400 coming in there. It takes us up to 1870, I think that was 400 there. And we've got some good development boosts applied, so this is reducing the cost of these items. So it's well worth doing the quick practice, even if you're not going to practice the laps, so that you can get these benefits over a weekend. Very worthwhile. So our acclaim came up a little bit, which was quite nice. I'm still very low, Jack's on 5 and the team is still on 1 at the moment, but hopefully through the race we might be able to do something about that. Now as far as the qualifying is concerned, we went for the one-shot qualifying, which is just a 1 single lap. It does put quite a lot of pressure on you, because if something goes wrong you don't get the opportunity to come in. Let's say you've damaged your nose, you can't come in and put a nose on and go back out again. But you'll see that it does give you a ghost car for the lead car, so you can see how you're doing. If you can stay ahead of that lead car, then you stand a good chance of going pole. In the future, I'm going to be going with the medium practice session, which is going to give me the opportunity to come in and fix the car up and go out and have another go and maybe do a few laps. And I'm also going to be looking at a slightly longer race. This is going to be 5 laps, whereas I'll be doing sort of 10-15 lap races. So if things go a little bit bad, it gives you a little bit more time to catch up and put right what went wrong. Alternatively, it gives you one opportunity to cause a problem. So as we cross the line, we'll see Valtteri just appear in front of us, who has got the pole position at the moment. We're slightly slow through that corner, and there's the ghost car just ahead of us. So we need to chase that down and see if we can get ahead of that and then stay ahead. So I'm braking a little bit early for these corners. Staying with him at the moment, and I think we just get ahead of him through this corner. I feel that the AI is still set a little low. I think we can probably bring it up another couple of points, but we'll see how we do in the race. But for now, we are keeping Valtteri behind us as we go through this qualifying flying lap. This is a very tight left-hander as we come into the straights. We really want to be getting some more speed as we come out of that corner and that build down this straight. That could be much better, but for the moment it looks like we are out in pole position. That's very much unexpected. I'd hoped that by upping the AI a little bit, I would be a little bit further back and a little bit more of a challenge, but it's going to take a few races to get the AI right. I think I'm probably going to be talking about AI quite a bit through this video. It's one of the settings that you can set. There is a default. I've increased it by 2 points, and it looks like we're going to need to increase it probably by another 2 or 3 just to bring us back in line. This is how easy the other cars are racing against you. So for the moment it looks like we are in pole, which is a little bit unexpected.
We're all ready for tomorrow's race, but before we begin, let's have a quick look at those who will be fronting the grid. Morgan, Bottas and Sergio Perez. With qualifying complete, all that remains is the main event. We'll be live and uninterrupted for the Grand Prix tomorrow, so make sure you join us then.
So we're ahead in pole position, Valtteri right behind us, Sergio. So you've got 2 Red Bulls, 2 Mercedes, and then we've got behind them the 2 Ferraris lying astern, and we've got the 2 McLarens. So yeah, it could be quite an interesting session. We'll have a look and see how Jack did. He came in at 19th. So if he's running a normal AI as per the other cars, then that would look like that's where we should be within the standings. So again, to put a pole position in a brand new car that is underdeveloped is probably highly unrealistic, and to get the realism up a little bit, we're going to need to get that AI number up a little bit more. So let's get into the race itself, and I'll remind you that this is a short race.
Right.
We're just doing 5
we can call that a successful
laps.
qualifying. We should be in with a good chance in the race.
So it's just a 5-lap sprint. Going to need to get a good start, going to need to get ahead of the other racers, and then we're going to need to try and maintain that throughout the race. No pit stop in this one. I did do a pit stop in the earlier race that we did. So this is more just to see how the video is coming together.
And it's make or break here at round 1 of this year's Formula 1 World Championship. We go racing today around 3.36 miles of the magnificent Bahrain International Circuit, with 15 corners and 2 good passing opportunities into turns 1 and 4. Keep an eye out for drivers locking the front left tyre into the tricky braking zone of turn 10. A new season then, a clean slate where anything could happen. Anthony Davidson is with me today as we get another year of Formula 1 underway.
We're into those tense few minutes before the first race then. Everyone's a little bit nervous about reliability. They haven't been running in the hot, turbulent wake of other cars in practice. They've not been pushing at 100% for long durations. Let's hope no one has to deal with any nasty surprises.
It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Morgan lines up on pole position, and it's Valtteri Bottas that completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Perez, Verstappen, Lewis Hamilton and Leclerc, Sainz, Ricciardo, Norris and Sebastian Vettel, Fernando Alonso, Gasly, Lance Stroll and Ocon, Tsunoda, Giovinazzi, Kimi Raikkonen and George Russell, Aitken, Mick Schumacher, Latifi and Nikita Mazepin. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today?
We're going to need you to push hard if we're going to get a good result today. Let's make it happen.
Okay, so we've got some good drivers around us. Let's see how we go. So we're engaging the clutch. Try and bring the accelerator up to 3 to 4 green pips, watching the lights, and away we go. So we drop the clutch, and we can immediately see that Valtteri had a much better start than we did. Reaction times are not good enough. Looks like I need to spend more time on whack-a-mole. And you can see that Perez actually got their nose in front of us just before I managed to get it back as we came out of that first corner. Again, Valtteri is scampering away, so now it's a case of just settling down, getting back on terms with him. And, you know, you don't win a race in the first corner, so I'll be quite happy just to settle down, see how things go, see how the car's handling, bring the tyres up to temperature, and then we'll probably make a move down one of the straights. DRS is going to come in late in this race, so we're either going to need to leave it late, or if we get an opportunity, then we might take it. So let's just come back to that replay at the start. Getting away from the line, reaction times were okay, a little bit slow, but you can see I've got a bit of wheel spin off the line, which let Valtteri through. Perez was right up behind us, dived up the inside, which put me on the back foot a little bit, and to back out slightly, but hung it out around the outside and managed to do him into the second part of that first little section there. And then it was a case of just settling down, making sure that I didn't let Perez come back into the next corner. Slight lock up there, and then just trying to get the power down to get on the back of Valtteri to see if we can get a move done. Now here we've actually got a really good slipstream down here. Are we going to go for it? We pull out, have a look, chucked it down the inside, push Valtteri just a little bit wide, keep the power down through this corner so he can't come back at us, and it looks like we might have got that done. This is the view from Perez's car, so you can see we're just down the outside. Valtteri went just a tad wide where we were there, and then we seem to have got that move done quite nicely, nice and clean, no damage to the car. And now we can get on with trying to build a gap. We're already up to 8 tenths, 9 tenths of a second. So again, I've spoken about the AI. It's probably a little bit low at the moment. I shouldn't really be scampering away. You know, a second at the end of the first lap is really way too much. So back down the field. Track is in 20th at the moment, in a bit of a train. But I guess that is realistic for a new driver to Formula 1. He's come up from Formula 2 in a brand new car, just getting a feel for it. So yeah, that's probably where we should be. It's all pretty much line astern, steady as you go at the back of the field. So back at the front, we've built a 1 second lead over Bottas already. And we're only midway through the second lap, so again a little bit unrealistic. By the end of the lap we've actually pulled out nearly 2 seconds over Valtteri, which is an age in Formula 1 terms, so definitely need to be looking at working on that AI. By the third lap I was really starting to feel the pressure. He was coming back at me, we were locking up, which is not good. I'm going to need to work on the braking, and as you can see this corner really wide, managed just to get the power down to keep Valtteri behind us, and then I managed to get a little bit of space down the straight. Back down the field, this is a view from Mazepin, And now we're back with Lewis, just watching the battle up ahead. I thought Lewis was coming a little bit more into the fight, but as you can see, he's just off the back of it. It's really Perez and Bottas that I'm having to keep behind me, and you can see the little puffs of white smoke as I'm locking up into these corners. Obviously generated a flat spot within the game. It doesn't affect the drivability of the car too much. Obviously in real life you'd have a real hexagon of a tyre and you'd be quite a bit of vibration, but we are tending to find that flat spot at each of these corners, and that's really giving Valtteri the opportunity to come back at us as we're closing out the Grand Prix. So we're on that 5 out of 5 again, another lock up into this corner. I'm really trying to push it, although we got a 1 to 1.5 second gap here. I really don't want to give them DRS any opportunity to come back at us, and I think that's probably why I'm leaving my braking a little bit too late, and a few more lockups than I would have liked. But at this stage, 1.7, 1.8 seconds behind, it's starting to feel like the job is done, but within Formula 1 you can never be sure. One little mistake and it can all change. So as you come out of the last corner, and we're going to sprint towards the line and a checker flag, a nice purple sector to finish up there. I think we've got a green and a purple, wasn't sure what the last one was, but that's first race done. Pole position, driver of the day, that's an added bonus, and also a nice win. It's a bit of a hollow victory because of the AI being a little bit low, but I guess that's quite a nice way to start off the season.
How do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
Well, I honestly feel it was down to the driver and car today. I mean, we can talk driver skill all day, but if you don't have a solid team to back that, you're never going to get anywhere. When you hit that sweet spot of having both an excellent driver and an incredible car, that's when you see results like those we witnessed today.
Well, I'm thoroughly exhausted after the excitement of that race, but I'm sure it's nothing compared to our drivers here. They've worked hard to make it up there, and it's great to see them make their way out onto the podium.
Spraying a bit of champagne around. They're quite nice, these little cinematographic little pieces. They've put them together quite nicely in this game. So we're up there with Valtteri and Perez, I think.
Let's have a quick look at how the drivers' standings have changed. Morgan takes over the lead of the Drivers' Championship. After an incredible day of racing, who was your driver of the day, Ant?
I have to give it to Morgan. They did a great job at getting the most out of their tyres without losing pace, something that's a very handy skill to have in modern-day Formula 1.
It's time to see how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. Mercedes moved to the top of the table. It's been an absolutely wild weekend of Formula 1 action. I can't wait to see what's next.
A little bit unrealistic for a new driver and a new team, but we're up there in first place. Valtteri and Sergio in second and third. Jack came in at 19th in the end, which is pretty good. We need to work on him. But the nice thing is we're splitting the Mercedes and the Red Bulls, which again is a little bit unexpected. 4 points adrift of the Mercedes, 1 point ahead of the Red Bull. So that is rather nice, and if we can continue that momentum, that would be great. If we can get Jack developed and contributing towards the points, then again that's going to be all the better. I'd expect him to be mixing mid-table, but hey, we're up there with the big boys. It's not going to stay that way. I'm bound to have an accident and a few DNFs, so it'll be interesting to see how things go over the next few races. And one of the first things I'm going to be doing at the end of this race is change the AI up by another couple of points, just to see if that brings me back in line with the other drivers, and we'll just continue to rein that in so we get a little bit more realistic as we go. So we're going to be going on to round 2 very soon, so I look forward to seeing you in that video. In the meantime, thank you very much for watching this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up, and if you want to see more like this, then please subscribe. It'd be great to have you follow me along. In the meantime, thanks for watching, take care, and I'll see you very soon. Bye bye.